Hello everybody, my name is Karen. I am intuitive Starseed healer and writer at Love Yourself Movement, and I'm here today. I took a shower for the occasion because I feel it's very important to talk about a very important topic. And the reason why I'm inspired to talk about it today is because, well, it happened and it's happening to me right now. So I wanted to talk to you about healing, being triggered, and what to do when that happens. I think a lot of people don't realize that when they're being triggered, that not everything deserves a response. And you have the people that are completely susceptible at times, and they will just go over and out of proportion about their reaction towards certain things that don't necessarily may not be a big deal to some people. And then you have people who things could happen to them and nothing happens. They're like, okay, well, not big deal. I've come to a place where I was very susceptible towards everything, and my energy would affect the environment around me. And I didn't realize how badly it was until a friend of mine had actually told me that I'm toxic, or that I affect everybody, and it's not pleasant at times. So I had to go into some deep introspection about that. And the one thing that I learned was that, is it really necessary to have to react all the time? And is it really that big of a deal? So those are two things. I realized also that not everything deserves a reaction, because we're triggered, or not triggered, but we are conditioned that, we have to react. When something happens, we have to say something, we have to do something, or express it, whichever way that means. But sometimes things don't need any of that. You can just let it pass and be like, okay, not overthink it, not overanalyze it. But the reason why sometimes things do get triggered, and I know I talk to people, I used to be the same way, when they would tell me that something would happen and they would see red, or they would jump and, try to seek out the injustice, like what the hell was that all about? And, that really hurt my feelings. Well, you have to be able, in that moment, actually, if we could think about any situation that would trigger us in that way, if you can pause yourself right at the moment to which you are about to react, you have to be able to catch that feeling inside. Pause yourself at that moment and ask, why is that affecting me the way that it is to deserve a reaction like that? So, yeah, I had to look at a lot of shadow self, parts of myself that within, and it was very uncomfortable because, I don't know a lot of people who like to look at themselves, because it takes, it hurts. That is the ego. When you actually have to see that there's something wrong with you, or you actually have to look at yourself and see what the problems are. And I don't call them problems. I call them each stepping stones to getting over to another level, growing, anything. Because if you're stuck in these very low vibrational experiences, well, you're gonna attract low vibrational experiences. So by being able to face that part of yourself that is being triggered, for example, if you feel jealous, a lot of people can feel jealous, and it's like, why are you feeling that? Is there a reason to feel that? For me, jealousy actually gets triggered because I can root it back to childhood. And for that is, I feel jealous, so I'm already automatically thinking that there's someone better than me. So I'm already putting myself in this, what do you call it? Like a competition that not even the other person knows about. It's just what I'm creating in my mind, a storyline. And so if these people are better than me, then I feel threatened. And what feels threatened? You know, if I was insecure, or actually if I was secure, I wouldn't feel threatened by the other person. By being insecure, it leads me from the reason of being insecure is because I had lost something, perhaps when I was younger, and, you know, seeking love. And in that, you know, pursuit of love or seeking love as a child, perhaps there was, you know, situations of abandonment or child neglect. And so your self-worth is diminished from that point on, the trauma of it. And through these situations, you know, you are seeking, and every time you get hold or grab hold of something and you feel threatened by it, the old wounds are going to come back and haunt you. So I had to look at that, at the, you know, the lack of validation, and have to do all of that for myself. Because yes, perhaps as a child I had perceived certain things with the childlike mentality, but as I grow older, I have to really look at the situation outside of that childlike mentality and to really assess, are those stories or perceptions that I had taken, are they true? And if they aren't, usually they aren't, because we usually perceive things wrong, or, you know, there's just a lot of missing pieces growing up. Maybe, like, at least in my family, we didn't communicate things very well. So I had to fill in the storyline with that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't lovable. And they would take away that love from me if I wasn't a good girl. And then if I had my grasp at something and something threatened that, then I would go back to, well, they always leave anyway. Or how can I grab hold of that leg and keep it with me because I need them. I need them to fulfill me because I'm so empty inside. That kind of trauma can leave you empty, feeling empty inside. And the healing process is to kind of rewire your mind into thinking that none of those things are true, that you are already whole as you are, that you do not have to suffer anymore, by coming home to yourself and really believing that you are worthy. Because if you depend on somebody to do these things for you, you're also giving them the power to take it away. And to avoid that completely, I would really ask you to work on yourself little by little and look at yourself at every trigger that you can. It's not a big deal if you do have a reaction and you regret it instantly. But in that moment of clarity, I would ask you to look at it and why do you feel that way? Or what happened to you to make you react that way? Is it because they told you you had to react that way? Or is it because something happened to you? And we can let go of the past when we realize that the past is over. Yes, things happen to us that we have sometimes no control over, but we do have control over how we respond to today and how we take life as we see it right now. And that is the most important thing that you can do, and something that you will be thankful for later, because, you know, not everything deserves that stress to go up there to make your fight or flight response come up, and that you have to partake in things that do not serve you. And it's really beautiful when you can actually be in the same situation where you are, let's say, threatened or by jealousy or something like that, and there's no reaction, and a genuine emotional detachment. And so you can see that when you've reached that stage that you have healed yourself. And sometimes it does take time. You will get triggered of the same thing. Sometimes jealousy does come back in different phases, but the recovery time is so much quicker because of your self-awareness and how in tune you are with yourself. So those are just little things that I invite you to do. I was in it today, very deeply. Well, in it today. I was in it for the last 24 hours, very deeply and disturbingly, because of the inner fight that I was having with my ego and my inner child and my body. And we all came to a consensus after we faced the truth together. And I know that sounds funny to some of you because we don't see ourselves as separate, but I am able to separate myself through different pieces, and that way I can address each one at a time. And it is kind of like being with children. Well, your inner child is the child within you, The ego is, well, when you become friends with your ego, it'll work in your favor, and the body is just your vehicle, and it's responding to the trauma that you're experiencing. So yes, they all come hand in hand, but developing a relationship with everybody and, you know, incorporating that oneness and strength within to come together and embody, it's a beautiful thing when you could finally get to that state, because not everybody knows that you can, or that you can address yourself in different ways. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment or email me. I'm at thestarseed.mission@gmail.com. You can find me also on Instagram at kbakuran. That's KBAQUIRAN. And yeah, I'll leave some stuff below if that's the case. So I just want to say thank you, and good luck with everything. Good luck with healing. It's worth it. It's scary, but it's worth it. All right, take care.